Welcome to easyMedicaid training video, Service Grids. Service Grids are an important component to the easyMedicaid system. They allow the system to check against the IEP service grids to verify services being provided for each student. As a related service provider, you may be required to maintain this information in the easyMedicaid system. If so, you will see the link to create and edit service grids on your My Caseload page. Click that link and it will bring you to the service grids. Here, all information for each student for your service area and service grid will be provided. The information you will need from the IEP will be the start date of the service grid, or IEP date, the individual, group, and consultation units, duration, and frequency. All this information should be obtained before coming to enter service grids. When entering service grids for the first time, all students will have a yellow dot indicating there is no service grid on file, and all information will be blank. The information required, the unit, duration, and frequency, is as follows. The frequency indicates the amount of time the units and duration occur in, daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly. The units are the number of times the student is seen during that frequency, and the duration is the amount of minutes the student is seen for each unit. In other words, if a student was seen twice a week for 30 minutes, you would do 2 units, a weekly frequency, and a duration of 30 minutes. Now we can put a start date. Let's just choose this and click Save. It indicates that the grid has been added. Notice the dot has turned to green, indicating that there is a valid grid on file and the information is here. If you have made a mistake at any point in time, you can make your changes and click the Save button again. For instance, if this was supposed to be 3 times, we would click Save and it shows you the grid has been updated. If a grid changes for an IEP meeting or an amendment, it is very important that you do not edit the service grid, but rather that you add a new service grid. So in that case, what you would do is click the Add New IEP Service Grid button. This information will now be blank, and it will tell you that you are entering a brand new grid. And so let's say that there was an amendment on the 1st of October, and instead of individual services, they're now getting group services. And we'll choose the same there and click Save. Now this grid has been added, and this, as of October 1st, is now your current grid. At any point in time, you can view all grids for the student by clicking the View All Grids. This shows you our first initial grid on 9/9, which had individual service, and our grid from 10/1, which now has group service. In addition to entering service grids, you can also enter a summer service grid. This is the time period, usually from July through August, that some students will have a different service grid than their normal one. If that's the case, click the Add Edit Summer Service Grids. You'll now notice you're working on summer service grids, and in addition you'll notice that an end date has appeared. You put the start date and the end date for that particular service grid and enter the information the same as you would a normal service grid. This information will be used when checking sessions in between these 2 dates. Once these dates have gone by, the original service grid will then be used again.